Bruce, how did you frame this game and this opportunity to the group this morning?
Well, we played well enough to win the other night, so we got to keep building on that. We've said it all along, got to get better as the series goes along, so a little better in some areas than we were the other night, and see where that leads us.
Any update on Braden?
He wasn't out there this morning, so anybody that wasn't out there will put his day-to-day for now. Pav was. Looks like he'll be good to go.
Is that Assad?
He'll be day-to-day too. He had a lower body injury from the other night, so we'll see how he is.
Did McDavid make the trip?
Yeah, he's here.
How big is getting Dorf back in the lineup, and what does that do for you?
Well, it's twofold for him, right? He's our leading goal scorer, so that's stating the obvious. I think Olsen, you saw the other night, can go in on his power play spot, and they've been interchangeable there. But he's still a threat 5-on-5. But also, he's a young guy that hasn't been through the playoff grind. So for his own personal development, not only for this year, going forward, these are experiences that, if you ask most young guys, they got to live through, and they'll get better from year to year. And we could use him out there now and going forward. So that's what he lost, missing a few games. But as I said, he should be in tonight and hopefully pick up where he left off. He's a good offensive player. He's stronger on the puck, and you have to be this time of year. So, again, tough spot to come in the middle of the series, but that's it. That's the hand you're dealt this time of year, and he should be able to help us.
You've talked in the past about how smart this team is, how experienced they are. Do you feel a calmness that maybe a younger, less experienced team would be in this situation?
Yeah, I think there's some of that for sure. You don't want to be too calm. You still want to bring your intensity level. There's always a balance. But yes, I would agree with you there that I think they have the right mindset right now that yesterday was an off day, so don't wear it. Start ramping up this morning to get yourself ready for a 7 o'clock game tonight. So I think the preparation part will help them. Once you get out there, to me, then it's you got to play. You got to play the guy across from you, and that's the challenge.
You credited their some of their depth scorers the other night. How much of a sort of challenge is that for your depth guys that maybe see those guys and to make sure you're winning your matchup?
Well, we've typically had that, so for us, it's nothing new. But yeah, it's you have to understand that the other night they won a game without their big guys contributing until the end. They were a big part of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying anything they did during the game, but they weren't all over the sheet, and other guys were able to pick it up for them. That's a sign of a good team. We've been there, so we got to neutralize their top guys again, and understand that the rest of the lineup can hurt you. Opportunity for our guys to step up and do the same, right? So that's a simple answer on that one, and we've been there, so let's do it.
Listening to you yesterday, you didn't sound like you would have been really surprised if Roy got a game in the suspension. He didn't. Were you, I don't want to say surprised, but happy to see, obviously you got your guy, happy how that unfolded for you?
I think the simplest thing is we're happy to have him in the lineup. He's a good player for us, so, that's, you don't know how those things are going to play out. We plan for, when you have a hearing, a guy to be in and out. So we go through lineups, but he's in. Happy to have him.
Can you walk through how you landed on the D pairs that you had out there this morning?
Well, we kept as much consistency as possible. Just move Theo over to the left, play with Petro. He started the year there. We tried that switch. So it's not new to him, but it's been a while. So that's how we decided.
Do you think you lose anything with Theo going to the left?
I don't know. I mean, he's going to play the same amount of minutes. He should have the same skill set either side. Obviously, when you're on your offside and you're an offensive guy, there's a little more of a one-timer threat. There's offensive blue line ability to maybe move a little, especially with his lateral movement. So you may lose a bit of that, but he's still a threat to pop in from the left side. Theo's more of a get it to the net type of guy than pound the one-timers anyway. He'll do both, but so I don't think in the long run we will, other than how comfortable will he be over there or not. That's it. So, but that's, again, you got to make adjustments with who's healthy in your lineup, and if that's where he has to play, then that's what we'll try first, as opposed to moving a right stick over to the other side.
You've got a couple injuries. They got a new goalie in tonight because of injury. Have we reached that point in the playoffs where everyone's just got to deal with pen that's coming out of here?
Well, it may have been earlier for some teams. That's usually it creeps in. Usually. Sometimes, I heard Winnipeg say that was the first time that was their lineup last night in a long time, so maybe they're getting healthy as they go into this. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it affects different teams at different times in the playoffs, I think. It's pretty hard to go through a whole playoff run, the intensity level it is, without some missing a guy here or there.
Is there a difference facing the Oilers with Stuart Skinner instead of Calvin Pickard?
Well, they're different. I think their techniques are different, the way they play. So I would say yes in terms of, the tendencies they have, and that'll be pointed out to our shooters. But I don't think Edmonton's going to change the way they play, if that makes any sense. That they're going to try to defend the scoring area hard, and only they can answer that. But I would say only on little tendencies on, is he down earlier? Does he get outside the blue paint more or less? How's his east-west? Does he have a blocker, glove? You know what I mean? There's all these analytics that you can look at. And then in the game, I don't know if you have time to deal with it anyway. Sometimes you're just shooting the puck as hard as you can to get it by him, right? So I think that gets overlooked a little bit sometimes, or overvalued, overhyped, because I don't think there's that much time and space out there to always pick your spot. When there is, yes, then I guess that's when it would come into play.
When it comes to keeping McDavid and Draisaitl, somewhat in check, how much did last change help you do that? Does the dynamic switch a fair amount without it to try and do that?
That would depend, I guess, on they have last change now, how much they try to, who they want to, if they have a matchup they have in mind they'd like them to play against. But yes, you always have last change, so you should have if that's what you want. But I don't know if that's part of it. I think the bigger part is where you on the ice, how much time and space you want to give them. Are you able to work above them with their speed? Can you deny them pucks in certain areas they like to get it? Can you close on them quick when they release to that weak side? That's more important to me than the actual personnel. That personnel matters, don't get me wrong. We've got some really strong defensive center. We prefer to match up. But at the end of the day, I think it's more about how you're going to play them than necessarily the person playing against them.
In terms of the power play, do you still see Olofsson and Pavel kind of being interchangeable, or do you?
Yeah, we'll probably leave Ole in that first unit because I would look stupid taking him off after. So that's the simplest answer. But Pav can go right in there. You've seen it all year. He scored. I think he's our leading power play goal scorer. So to me, that's an easy switch, and I mean that in a complimentary way to both players.